Sitting. Afternoon, everybody. Today I am going to be showing you my presentation in speech. Steve Prefontaine was one of the most inspirational athletes of all time. During his short 24-year life, he accomplished more in his short lifetime than most athletes do in their entire lives. This topic is especially important to me as a runner because I find great inspiration from him and use his work ethic every day, especially after watching one of his movies. Let's get into his life. During his early life, well, let's start from the beginning actually. On January 25th, 1951, Prefontaine was born in Coast Bay, Oregon, as one of three children, born to Alfred Prefontaine, who was a seaman while being a German immigrant, and Ray Prefontaine, who worked as a carpenter and welder. Throughout middle school, he played gridiron football and basketball. Unfortunately, due to his slim stature and small stature as well, he did not see much playing time. Wanting to compete more, he started looking for other sports while entering into high school. At the beginning of high school, while attending Marshallville High School, Prefontaine turned his focus to cross country and track. While these being new sports, he was overall unremarkable during his first 2 years. However, during the summer in between his sophomore and junior year, he experienced a ginormous growth in his ability for running, going undefeated in his junior year. In fact, he continued this trend into his senior year, going undefeated there as well, while also breaking a national record for the 2-mile run, running a phenomenal time of 8 minutes and 41.5 seconds. While this was all happening, he was getting huge national attention and got specifically some attention from Bill Bowerman, who wrote a letter to Prefontaine stating under his tutelage, he can make him the greatest long-distance runner in the world. His career started. While he enrolled in Oregon, he studied communication. He instantly excelled under Bowerman's tutelage, who was credited for one of the best American running programs in the nation. Prefontaine won 7 national NCAA titles while at Oregon. 3 championships in the 10,000 meter run in 1970, 71, and 73, and won the other 4 in the 5,000 meter run in 71, 72, 73, and also 70. He broke multiple collegiate records and never lost a race in a distance under a mile. While he was only 19 years old, he was featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine. Due to his rise in popularity and skill, Prefontaine was known for his competitiveness and determination on the track. In 1970, he won his first NCAA title while having multiple stitches in his foot from an accident only days prior. He often went out in blistering speeds, trying to create a huge gap between him and his competition to get a huge lead and hold it for the rest of the race, and that's what made him so popular. He quickly grew a large fan base and a large fan supporting group, with lots of his fans coming to his meets wearing the shirts saying "Go Pre." After his college years in Oregon, he was a very outspoken critique on AAU, which unfortunately forbid non-professional athletes from making income from endorsements or appearances. He also visited the Oregon State Penitentiary, where he helped build one of the first running prison clubs around at this time.
That's impressive.
At the age of 21, Prefontaine ran for the United States at the 1972 Munich Olympic Games in the 5,000 meter run. Prior to the event, in typical Pre fashion, he said he was going to go out at world record pace and win. But unfortunately, not so unfortunate at the beginning of the race, he would stay at the middle of the pack for about the 2-mile point, and he would start to create a huge gap from there. But at the 50-meter mark towards the end of the race, he would unfortunately die out and finish it at 4th. This was still considered one of the greatest races of all time for his inspiring performance in the race. While he returned to Oregon, Prefontaine began training to compete at the 1976 Montreal Olympics, where he was considered a gold medalist contender in both the 5,000 meter race and the 10,000 meter race. While he was preparing for the Olympics in '74, he became the first athlete to ever sign with Nike, a newer brand at the time that was co-founded by Bowerman. After getting signed to Nike, he helped popularize the brand, and it grew quickly. Now on to his legacy. In 1975, Prefontaine organized a multitude of track meets in the United States, including top-level Finnish athletes. On May 29th, they made their final stop, where Prefontaine would end up winning the 5,000 meter race. After the meet, multiple runners attended a party to celebrate the end of the tour, and around midnight, Prefontaine ended up leaving the party. He dropped off a fellow long-distance runner, Frank Shorter, off at his friend's house. He began driving down Skyline Boulevard, with it being quite windy out that night. He lost control of his car, struck a boulder by the road, flipped, and Prefontaine was crushed under the weight of his flipped car and pronounced dead right on the scene. With a blood alcohol of 0.16% in his system at the night, or at the time, I should say. Prefontaine was missed and mourned across the world by many people and athletes. An annual track meet called the Prefontaine Classic has since been held since Prefontaine's death. His crash scene was called Pre-Rock by multiple runners. Down the years, multiple movies and documentations have been made about him, including Prefontaine in '97, Without Limits in '89, and Fire on the Track, a documentary of Prefontaine's life in '95. In conclusion, Prefontaine will always be remembered as one of the most inspiring, respected, and humble athletes of all time. Thank you all for listening.
Nice.
That's good. We got that done.